Hey, how's it going, guys? What are my first impressions of EA drops all their shit on Steam? So, the publisher, after making games for their PC-exclusive platform Origin for years now, has finally bent the knee, I guess, and just dumped all their shit on Steam. Now, there are some missing titles, very obviously missing, and it's actually pissing me off because these are multiplayer essentials, and, you know, releasing on Steam at the right time would give the player bases a massively needed boost, and it's goddamn rating outside. Look, it's Battlefield 3, 4, 5, Battlefield 1, Mass Effect 3, Dead Space 3, those are not multiplayer essentials, but you've also got Titanfall 1 and 2. Titanfall 2 in particular is one of my favorite games of the decade, and it's a goddamn shame they haven't pushed it or promoted it on Steam, you know, given it the life it deserves. Okay, so let's just get into it. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. This is so unplanned, okay? And it's partly EA's fault. There's a ton of false advertising on these pages. I'm going to just let you know that right now. We'll get right into that, but we're just going to be doing it in this factor because fuck letting me know. Okay, Jesus. Dragon Age 2, 50% off. Not a great discount considering that it's been, you know, 10 years since this game came out, and the DLC is more expensive than that, so you're looking at almost $25 for the full package. No. Do not. I'm sorry, but okay, let's calm down for a second. Dragon Age 2 was not as well received as its predecessor. That's an understatement. The game was arguably built a lot more linear. You have more black and white dialogue and characters and story elements, and the game did feel more like a console port than its predecessor, which definitely was developed for PC first. If it wasn't, then oh my god, that's an impressive console to PC port. But anyway, Dragon Age 1 Inquisition is on Steam. It's currently discounted. It looks like all the DLC is working. I couldn't tell you that for certain because some of EA's older games, including Mass Effect 1 and 2, you had to download the DLC separately. And for Mass Effect 2, which was really bad, you had to buy the DLC pack on Origin, log into Mass Effect 2 on Steam with your EA account so that they would link and that, you know, it would show that you were authorized to use the DLC. And then you would have to go to EA's site and download every single piece of DLC and install every single piece of DLC manually to your game. A nightmare. It was stupid, and it looks like they haven't fixed that for Mass Effect 2. So a lot of EA's older games, well, haven't been changed. So that is unfortunate. Although maybe they've done it with Dragon Age, I can't tell you. Regardless, get the GOG version anyway of Dragon Age 1 if you want to bypass all that crap. Dragon Age 2, not worth the money though, especially at that price. You could have gotten it for, what, $7.50 with all the DLC on Origin? Not great. Crysis 3, on the other hand, is a great game. Now, this is where the tomfuckery starts. So, Crysis 3 was a pretty good send-off for the franchise. Not great. Crysis 1 was where the franchise was at its best. Warhead was a great expansion, and that game has had some issues as it's aged over time. It looks like there's going to be a remaster, so maybe that might fix a lot of its problems, because running it on newer operating systems, I think it's only like using 1 or 2 cores at most. It still has DRM issues, it has a plethora of issues, and it's raining outside, and I want to kill myself. God damn it. We're gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep hammering through it. Okay. Crysis 3, Digital Deluxe comes with some, you know, guns and stuff, but where the tomfoolery starts is with the DLC, Lost Island. Like, you might be thinking, oh, I don't remember there being a single-player expansion. Well, it's not. It's multiplayer. Multiplayer only. You know, new maps. I'm like, okay, that's kind of crappy that they would make you pay for something that, you know, it's the online community's probably dead. I mean, it does have online, doesn't it? I mean, you know, it's probably like really low population, but maybe we'll get a you know, a little bonus, a little boost to the online multiplayer component of Crysis 3 on Steam. Wait a minute, as we hit the Show More button. As of June 2014, our friends at GameSpy have ended all hosted game services. This has affected the online multiplayer aspect of one or more games in this collection. Because of technical challenges and concerns, we do not have a solution to keep these services up and running at this time, and online services for this game and other EA games on the GameSpy platform have ended. We are still investigating a range of options to restore official online functionality and multiplayer gameplay for these titles. You can find out more information at fuckyou.com. Okay, basically, they're saying, yo guys, we're still looking for a solution. Don't give up hope. But this game came out, 7 years ago now? And you're releasing it on Steam now. So you guys just could have staggered the release of this one out and said, like, why don't we just wait a little bit and release a bunch of EA multiplayer games on Steam? Like, tie it in with the Battlefield games or the Titanfalls. Just wait it out for it to be a complete experience. But nope. Nope, and it's falsely advertised too. Don't have this right here. If you want to say that there's no single player, if there's no multiplayer, fine. But take this out. This is false. This is false advertising right here. And speaking of that, Need for Speed games, I have not played. I couldn't tell you, how good those are. Okay, but Plants vs. Zombies, I did cover this game. Now, we're gonna have the trailer right here running. But, just a few minutes ago, literally a few minutes ago, right here, they said, local multiplayer split-screen gameplay. That's a little bit interesting, isn't it? Why did they remove that? Oh, what's this? What was that? That looks like split screen. Why is this advertised here? This is from the PS4 and Xbox One versions. If you go to EA's website right now, it says there is no split screen on the PC version. So they obviously didn't update it because why would they just remove that now? I swear to God it did say that and they changed it, and it still has it in the promo materials. It's incredibly misleading. Incredibly misleading. Other than that, $20, it's Garden Warfare 2 rehashed. It's got some new content, new feature sets, a lot of new cosmetics. Some might like it, some might hate it. There's some problems with the multiplayer component. It's not very well balanced. And it's just Garden Warfare 2 resold again. And honestly, that's fine to me because I didn't really get a chance to play that game, and it was actually a lot of fun. But, the community for that game died, but it just feels kind of shitty just reselling the same... You're just reselling another game that you're kind of just adding a little bit to. We also have the indie games. Indie, in quotations. These are lower budget, smaller developer games that EA funded, and they were fairly well received, I will say. They were very much liked, especially Unravel. The reveal of that game was, oh my god, you gotta see this on E3. It's just so heartwarming. But I actually might give it a playthrough now. Maybe not at these prices because, well, they're quite old. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm a little bit stingy, but I got a massive backlog, so, sue me. But yeah, these are fairly well regarded, very stylistically, they're very nice to look at. Yarny in particular does look very nice, and you also have Sea of Solitude, which is regarded fairly well, actually, from what I've seen. They're narrative-driven, some of them are just straight-up platforms like Unravel. But yeah, worth at least looking into. Dragon Age Inquisition was a lot better than 2 in many regards, but it had the problem of it just being an open world, way too much shit in it, just way too many boring quests for a lot of people. The first area a lot of people really hated, one of the major areas, so that might be a dodge, but at $19.99, it's not horrible considering it is the Game of the Year edition. It's complete. Also has Steam trading cards like Dragon Age 2, which is, a little bit weird that some games have Steam features and some don't. Especially Dragon Age 2. That game is 11 years old. Anyway, Burnout Paradise Remastered. So the original was on here, but this is the remastered version. Have not played the remastered, couldn't tell you anything about it, but the original Burnout is very well regarded at $5. I'd say this is a definite buy from what I've just heard about this. Can't exactly say the same thing about Mirror's Edge Catalyst. That is a very good price, but, it was released at $60, and a lot of people thought it was a disappointment. So, at a significant discount like that, even though it's only 50% here, that might be well worth it for you because, well, a lot of people thought, it was a little bit disappointing, but it was kind of sent out to die. A lot of people did not like it as much as the original, and when I say sent out to die, I mean it was put up against a lot of other games. It was released in a really terrible window, similar to Titanfall 2. I think Mirror's Edge and Titanfall 2, someone correct me, they were released at the same time next to Battlefield 1. it was really, or another major game, it was really stupid the way EA was competing with itself at one point. Jedi Fallen Order, not on sale, so we're going to skip that. Warp, also not on sale, but this is a really cool game. Maybe give it a look-see. This game was actually removed from Steam a while ago, and no one knew what happened to it, and now it's back on Steam. But hey, maybe give it a look. Shift 2 Unleashed, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Again, I don't play racing games right here. But Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning was originally an MMO, I believe. It was gutted as a, into a single-player game, and, you can tell I don't have a lot of time in this. From what I've gathered online, I've actually spent more time just researching this game and its history than actually playing it. It's actually quite interesting. Almost bankrupted the state of Rhode Island. You had a baseball star backing it, and it man, it was really expensive to develop, apparently, and it just did not turn out well at all. It's a action RPG. It's got really good combat, but the problem is that a lot of the quests and the story is really, really boring. So if you are the type of person who's like, listen, man, just get me into the game and let me start hitting stuff without worrying that I'm missing anything good, just skip through all the cutscenes in this one. You'll probably like it a lot. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. A lot of cool weapons, chakras, spears, all kinds of really cool shit in this game that's really fun to play around with. I haven't played a lot of it because, well, I need something other than just strictly combat to get me going. But apparently you can put, like, someone was saying, like, you can get hundreds of hours out of it doing all the quests, whether you'd want to or not. Well, that's up to you. There's a lot of other games on here, too. I'll just make some brief mentions, though. Medal of Honor Airborne is pretty fun. For $2.50, it's a cool shooter. It's got this weird mechanic, whereas, when you die, you actually don't just do a level restart. You actually drop in from the sky again. You're like a paratrooper in World War II, and as someone who's watched Band of Brothers, well, it's one of my favorite shows. I'd say that's pretty fucking awesome, and I have played a little bit of it. It is quite fun, but it is a little bit weird. There's issues with NVIDIA PhysX. You might need to download a legacy PhysX driver. There is issues with just the port in general. Motion sickness, the HUD. It might not be worth it. But for $2.50, just try it, and if it's giving you technical issues, just refund it. Might be worth playing, but again, it's got a bunch of technical issues, and I think this was like one of the last real Medal of Honor games that released until the modern reboot, which Medal of Honor 20, whatever the fuck, was on Steam. I don't know if it's still on here now, but Warfighter is still not on Steam, and you know what? The less said about that game, the better. It's a very linear shooter, not very good. Total Biscuit, rest his soul, did an amazing video just shitting on it. It is not a very good game. Mass Effect 1 and 2, not on sale, as previously mentioned. Dead Space 1 and 2, not on sale. They have PC issues anyway. I really wish EA had just staggered some of these games and discounted them more appropriately, because this is a fucking mess. This is a goddamn mess, and it just shows that, ever since they left Steam to go to Origin, they have not had their head straight. They have not had their head straight. For years, they've just been releasing mediocre sequels, unfaithful sequels, terrible microtransactions and business practices. You might think, oh, Battlefield 5, that was such a great game. Or, Jedi Fallen Order, Battlefront 2, look at what they're doing with Battlefront 2. It's the same EA. It's the same one. Alright, I've calmed down now. This is, yeah. EA, same old shit. And I think it's a little bit more annoying that they've done this right before they're about to drop a beloved franchise, Command & Conquer Remastered. Alright. I don't know why they insist on competing with themselves. God, what a fucking retarded company. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm out.